In today's news, a couple of days later, SARS issued a media release on the 5th of September, clarifying issues around how social media influencers will pay tax. And essentially, the article just talks about, listen, we are picking up that we found out some information about the taxation on influencers, and we just want to say how you're going to be taxed. Okay, so this is SARS's position on influencers. And the article made a lot of people angry, especially social media influencers. And, unfortunately, I'm an influencer, if you want to call it that. And people are somehow surprised by the fact that, especially the influencers, are surprised that they have to pay tax. In fact, there was this tweet. Now, I'm going to work through this tweet and see if I can provide some commentary on it. And I'm happy to collaborate with anybody who wants to talk about how SARS would tax influencers. So Lazizwe here talks about, I want to be clear, I do pay tax. I've always contributed and I believe in building this country. However, this industry isn't traditional. That is true. There's the social media influencer industry is not traditional. In fact, it is social media. It's not traditional media. And then they say there are blurred lines between paid work, gifting, trade exchanges, and delayed payments. Like some creators wait months to be paid. However, the gross income definition also includes money that is received or to be received, like accrued income. So accrued income actually takes into account money that haven't been received. Trade exchanges are taxed according to barter transactions. Gifting is also included in the gross income definition, like donations. And in fact, if you have a Patreon account and the Patreon income replaces or can replace your day job, it is an income and you must pay tax on it. So several things of these, the gifting of, getting cars, campaigns, visibility, these are, the gross income definition also includes getting receipts in cash or otherwise. And then they carry on and they are saying, the lines between income, trade, and gifting are still unclear. I think what's unclear is that nobody has had the conversation with influencers exactly how they would be taxed. And I am putting my hand up and saying, I will literally collaborate with anybody who wants to understand how they will be taxed and the fact, and yeah, sure, I will do structure, education, open dialogue, and I won't shame or create any confusion. In fact, I've been teaching tax on YouTube for several years now. But it does surprise me that suddenly it came to the forefront that SARS is now specifically mentioning influencers. Now, the reason why I think this came to the forefront is because influencers don't pay the traditional pay-as-you-earn where you work for a company and the company deducts the pay-as-you-earn. They might be paid as a freelancer where 25% is being deducted, but there are many different sources of income. In fact, I think influencers and content creators are amongst the people who have the most varied number of income streams, multiple different types of income streams. And so it makes their taxes much more complicated. But at the same time, the auto assessment system that SARS have do not capture people who do not capture social media influencers because of all these varied ways that they earn an income. So it's in fact SARS is on the auto assessments, they don't capture those influencers. So influencers are required to file their own tax returns, maybe via a practitioner, or they file their own returns. and that can be quite tricky. So I definitely agree there should be more education and more teaching around this, but it's definitely not a surprise to me that this now came to the forefront. And yeah, I'm happy to collaborate with anybody about this. All right, cheers.